Hello gamers, I'm Shadeslayer. Here are the results from day 1 of the PFGEsports Teamfight Tactics Tournament.
The results have been adjusted in matches where all 8 registered players couldn't participate.
Match 1, Ninja Crux finished first and Medavrat finished second. Match 2, Profdonger finished first and Ayanarias finished second. Match 3, Say No to FF finished first and Lata Beige finished second. Match 4, Addy7 finished first and Dark Lord Avi finished second. Match 5, the X Faye finished first and P11100 finished second. Match 6, Jesus X Crust finished first and Scorian69 finished second. Match 7, Fufu Cutie finished first and Bishi finished second. Match 8, the Orion TFT finished first and Spud Monkey King finished second. Match 9, Dalinar Colin finished first and Drago the Legend finished second. Match 10, Christian finished first and Kratos7321 finished second. Match 11, Dokima Doki finished first and Binary Zero finished second. Match 12, Titty Twist finished first and Charan Light finished second. Match 13, Vulcan 3303 finished first and Okawe finished second. Match 14, Itachi Rogue Ninja finished first and Marine Cobra finished second. Match 15, PSG 2907 finished first and Booty Twist finished second. Match 16, the Desi Zeus finished first and Emmy Way finished second.
Hey everyone, I'm Shadeslayer. Joining me is Orion. Orion, first up, congratulations on your win today, man. How are you doing?
Thank you so much, Shade. Really nice joining you here.
Likewise, man. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
So my real name would be Shubham Anand. I come from Ahmedabad, Gujarat, Modi land, as people refer to it as. So I've been playing TFT, since the release. I would say the set 1, which was launched about, I think, 9 months ago. And the game has changed a lot over this period of time. And before that, how I got into TFT was because of League of Legends. Right. I've been playing League of Legends for the past 7 years now.
Wow.
And it's been a journey. I would say, from League of Legends to shifting. I would not say shifting, but
I mean, it's the
TFT.
same unit. It's the same League of Legends universe.
Yeah, but it's the entire gameplay is different.
Right.
So it's been a nice up and down journey. We've seen a lot of things in TFT as well. Where the game wasn't as good as we thought it would be, but then slowly and gradually, because the developers, Riot Games, are really cool people. They always are open to the gamers or the people that play the game. They
Indeed.
listen to them. And they come back with those changes. And because of that, the game has progressed from, they started with set 1, then set 2, then set 3, and right now the patch that we are on, or the game we are on, is called set 3.5. So basically the game has progressed every 3 months. They have this in mind to entirely change how the game works.
Right.
In the sense of not the gameplay change, but in the sense of, what all traits and synergies that you can have in the game, or what all champions that you can play in the game. So they keep rotating them every 3 months to keep the game fresh, to keep the game feel new every time you play it. And does not feel like, because there are a lot of other auto battlers out there, which probably do not have that thing. I have played certain other auto battlers, and it feels like, you have one synergy, one trait that you play, and that's your winning condition. If you play anything else, and if someone else is playing that, you're going to lose on 100%.
Right.
And that is not the case with this game. It was when it launched, but slowly and gradually they have made these changes as such that the game has become more of a who's going to adjust themselves to the situation rather than just playing one thing and winning.
Got it. Perfect, man. You talked a little bit about the community. Could you tell us, since you've been part of the TFT community from its inception, how has it been growing to where it is here today?
So when the game was launching, we already knew that this game was going to come out, right?
Right.
Because we were playing League of Legends and Riot Games, they were announcing that it's going to come. So we were like on it to, create a community, a new community where TFT players can onboard new TFT players, help them play this game. So we created this group on Facebook, and we saw an influx of few people joining in, but mostly these were people uh, who were playing League of Legends already, who
Right.
knew about League of Legends already. It wasn't people who were new to TFT or new to League of Legends altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So what we saw initially was just people who played League of Legends and are now also playing TFT. That was the thing that was initially.
Right.
And we slowly and gradually had some tournaments that we tried to do. We had few sponsors and things like that. We tried to do community tournaments, to engage the people to play and reward them. So when people play and we reward them, they want to play more because they are getting rewarded in some or the other form.
Right.
So because of those tournaments and because of a bit of, you can say, sharing it across with the people, uh, to slowly, gradually build a small community. Not a lot, but a small community.
Right.
And then Riot Games announced that they're going to release the TFT mobile app,
Yeah.
which was actually one of the main reasons why we saw more and more people joining in. Once they released the mobile application, it became like, I'll be honest, people in my office saw me playing that game on my mobile phone and were like, what is that game? And because of that, they started playing, they got hooked onto it more than me. And it was like, and they have no clue what League of Legends is, like literally
Yeah.
no clue what gaming is. But once they got onto the game, they are like, oh, this is nice. This is something I've not seen before. And it was actually a game that not, it's not one of those Candy Crushes and things like that that everybody knows about.
Right.
It's a niche game. It's a niche market. Very few people would know about it. Probably people who are already in the gaming scene would know about it.
Yep.
But getting it out to the people who do not play games regularly was something that this mobile app supported.
Yep.
That people are now getting to play this game without any knowledge of League of Legends. So before, the game was dependent on the League of Legends player base. Now it is not the TFT community. Now it's the game. TFT itself is not limited to League of Legends players, and that's what the mobile has enabled them to do. So we have a lot of people now on the group who, initially we had to initiate conversations on the group,
Right.
as moderators and admins, and now just randomly people will come in, join in, and we'll be like, this is something that I'm stuck at. This is something, this is the new composition that I have found in the game, that's strong. And people come up with new ideas every day. We discuss. We have a Discord channel as well, where, our pros constantly stream their games on the Discord server itself. And people can just come and watch their games, how they are doing, what they are doing. So because this game requires, like, every round, every second that you're playing goes a lot of thinking, because you need to decide what to buy, what not to buy, where to put your champion. A lot of things are there, and these people, these pros, streaming on Discord, they are helping these new people to see what they might be doing wrong, or what is it that they're supposed to do, which will enable them to be good at the game.
Right.
So yeah, that is how I've seen the community grow.
That looks like a
Because of few
wonderful
things.
initiative that the community members have taken upon themselves, because a game like this has a lot of intricacies, and like you rightfully said, a lot of split-second decision making is involved on the go. And for newer players who are coming into the scene, just to get to see it firsthand how a pro does it, I think is going to
Yeah,
help them eventually take the game up themselves.
and I'll tell you one more thing. So we as I mean, we as English speaking people, we can go out, watch some NA player,
Right.
streaming his games, a pro player. But now, because this game has given access to people in India
Yep.
who might not be English speaking, who might only know Hindi,
Right.
and for them to understand the game, for them to be aware about what to do, what not to do, we need to tone it down to their language, to
Right.
to something that they will understand. And if we just share them a link of, say, a pro player out in NA or out in US, that this is a pro player, he's made this TFT guide, go watch it, they're not going to understand anything.
Right.
But because our community is creating that platform for them to learn in their language, it is not like it has always been like that. All the games that we've played till now, we have to go online, search for
Yeah.
content on your own, learn from there, and then come. But this has been like, okay, there are Indian players who are talking in Hindi or talking in one of the languages that is understood by the players. There might
Right.
be someone is South Indian, he's speaking in the regional language. So that diversity is enabling a lot of people in the community to learn the game. And just because they are not understanding a specific language is not stopping them from playing the game.
Perfect, man. You of course, coming back to the PFG Esports TFT tournament, you did win your match today. Could you walk us through the same?
Um, Honestly, so when I saw the tournament schedule and I saw who all are in my lobby, the
Mm-hmm.
first thing I did was, simply quickly scout them on lolchess.gg, which is a
Right.
website where you can see people's match histories, what rank they are, and things like that.
Yeah.
I did a quick check. I fortunately did not play ranked once this season started, which
Okay.
was like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I am not sure if the other players had scouted me or not. So they might not have seen that, what level of player I am
Yeah.
personally, because I would show as unranked. So,
Right.
but I could see that, the players that were there in my lobby were like silvers, silver 4, something like that, something
Okay.
around. I was pretty confident because, I mean, I've played this game for so long. So
Right.
it felt like I was pretty confident because I scouted beforehand as to how these players play.
Right.
And then there are certain compositions that you can, if you have the right synergies,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're able to hit that, you have a pretty good chance to come like the top 4 in the lobby.
Got
So
it.
I was playing one of those. So the thing about TFT is about not coming first. It's about coming top 4, like when you're playing ranked, especially.
Got it.
You gain more points when you come top 4. So I was playing one of those comms which would get you top 4, no matter how bad you play it.
Got it. And then take it from
So that
there
is what
and
I
go
did.
for the win. Yeah. Awesome,
And
man.
honestly, I got really lucky.
Oh, all right.
It was a galactic armory where you get 2 items in the beginning of the game.
Okay.
Like as soon as the game starts, you get two free items.
All right.
Everyone gets 2 free items. And those 2 free items happen to be the items that goes on my carry, that the com that I was thinking about.
Got it.
So I was like pretty comfortably sure what I need to do, what I need to go in this game. And fortunately, no one else went that, because if someone else would be competing with me on that, it would have been a bit tough.
Indeed, man. Any final shout outs?
Shout outs to the community members. I mean, there are a lot of people, I think, who are working to make this TFT community grow. I want to call out a few of my
Please go ahead.
mates, Bishi, Abhishek Sayan. Then there is Atharva, who's helping us out there. Then there is one guy known as Obi. Uh, He's been a part of the TFT, the core TFT community. He's helping us grow the community. And then there is Master or XAV, you can call him. And of course, one shout out to you guys for getting this tournament. I believe this is the first tournament we have had with such a big prize pool.
Oh, wow.
And for TFT, and this has enabled the. I mean, when tournaments happen, money is a very big criteria. People join tournaments because they are gaining something,
Right.
and a game like PFT having such a huge prize pool uh, has has seen. I mean, I did not expect TFT having how many registrations were there. I'm not aware exactly,
We
but if you
256
can help me
players.
out with the number. Yeah, so I have never would have thought that we would have had 256
Right.
players for a TFT tournament. I'm not kidding you. I would have never thought. We have done tournaments on the group. We have received at max, I'm telling you, 64.
Wow.
Like it becomes literally difficult. We want to fill 64 slots. We need to literally go to few of our friends and ask them to play
Yeah.
the game to fill those slots. And we never would have imagined, never, that there will be 256 slots. And it was just shocking when he got to know that it's 256 slots. And I believe that this Paytm, of course, is a brand, is a huge name.
Yeah.
And then with that, the price pool, and that has enabled, as for us as a community as well, to more people are able to know about this game because of Paytm and because of this tournament, and which has been fantastic. And hats off to you guys, honestly.
Thank you so much, man. I mean, big shout out to Paytm First Games, Riot Games, and of course the Indian TFT community for coming together and making this a grand success. Thank you so much again, Orion, for joining me. It has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. I hope we can catch up soon again. Cheers, man.
Thank you so much, Shade. Have a great day. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
you too.
Cheers.
Bye bye. I have with me Prof today. Prof, what's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
So, my name is Adrian, and my in-game name on League of Legends is Profdonger. So, the reason I actually came up with that IGN is because I used to play League of Legends, the solo queue,
Mm-hmm.
and my favorite character that I used to play was actually Heimerdinger.
Ah,
And I watch a lot of streams, and one of my favorite, at least streamers who used to be pretty good, I mean, is now kind of fallen off. I'm a cutie pie. So
yes.
whenever he used to say Heimerdinger, he would say Donger.
Okay.
And I'm also a big fan of one of another streamer called Professor Akali.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, like, hey, maybe make, because I was just playing Heimerdinger only. I was like, maybe I'm actually a Heimerdinger one trick, and I'll just call myself the Professor of Heimerdinger, and then the Dinger of Donger, the Heimerdinger Donger. So Professor Donger, and that's how the name came about, essentially.
Awesome, man. Tell us a little bit about your journey playing TFT thus far.
So I actually joined in set two. I actually don't even remember if there was a set one or what was set one, but I joined when there was. So started again with League of Legends, a solo queue,
Mm-hmm.
and I met one of my friends through playing ranked, and his name is Gaurav. He's actually part of the TFT community as the grandfather,
Mm-hmm.
and we started, like, we hit it off in league itself because I was playing ADC and he was playing as a support, and we became good friends through that because we kind of like hit it off in the game in laning. We kind of stomped a few games, and then we were like, hey, let's catch up. And then we found out that we were both from India. We both like have similar interests, and then recently we both found out that we were born on the same day.
Oh, wow.
So that, yeah, it was the friendship that kind of came out of the blue, and so. So Gaurav was like, "Yeah, just join. It'll be fine." So the main reason why we were having difficulties in playing solo queue was because we are in India,
Mm-hmm.
and our only server is EU West, and we get like 150 ping.
Right.
And he was like, dude, if you play TFT, you don't have to worry about ping because it's a chess game. like lag is not much of an issue.
Right.
So I was like, okay. I was reluctant at the beginning, and then I was like, okay, let me just give this a shot. So we played a couple of games together, and then he kind of, since he already had a head start of how the game worked, and since I'm like very familiar with all the characters and what they actually do, it was kind of easy to understand. Okay, this is how you play this game. So when I started off, I was very noobish. I really didn't care about grinding the rank queue or like actually playing a little bit more competitively. It was more about just having fun with Gaurav. Okay.
Yeah.
That's when we kind of actually had, because we're very competitive. I think it's either because we're Pisces or like we're born the same day, kind of had the same mentality. But we love grinding or like trying to get better in the thing, because we both spent a lot of time on League of Legends. I know for a fact I've spent, let's say, a couple of years, not even a couple, a lot of years playing League of Legends in my spare time. So I know for a fact that since I've invested a lot of time in this game, I might as well do something. I say get some, how you say, returns from
Returns.
it, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, climbing the rank and like becoming competitive in that sense. So we were like, okay, let's make a bet, and this bet has actually been going on. It's been changed every set, but we
All right.
started off like in set two when there was Woodlands, champions, and for those who are in the TFT community would know exactly what that means, and those are some good days basically playing Woodlands. So in the first, or in set two is when we joined. We both put a bet against each other who would get to gold first.
Okay.
And so the grind started. We started playing competitively. We started figuring out, okay, how do you like become good at the game? If there was a lot of reading material, there were a lot of streamers who were playing the game. So we started following all of these, and after set two, we both had reached goal. I again beat Gaurav to the goal. So once we got a familiar handle of the game, is when the new set came out, set three, and that's when the Galaxy, the whole set came out, and that's again we were like, okay, we got to gold, pretty easy. Let's try and see if we can get to plat.
Yeah.
And we did the bet again. I'm not going to tell exactly what the bet was for, but it was for basically in-game currency
Okay.
for RPs. So we were like, let's buy each other a skin or let's buy each other some eggs and stuff like that.
That's some very good motivation, by the way.
Yeah, it is. And we put it at a pretty high rate. It wasn't like, okay, we'll give you one egg. We were just like, okay, let's make it a significant amount. So we were like, all right, whoever gets to plat first is like, we'll get like a certain amount. And again, the grind continued. We both played competitively, and we both reached plat. But again, I reached ahead of him, and I won that bet as well. And that's when again it went into from plat to diamond, and now from diamond to masters, which I'm currently trying to work on, and he's also trying to work to get to. And in between all of this is when we actually found about the community. There is a Facebook TFT community for South Asia,
Yeah.
I believe. I'm not entirely sure exactly the name. Yeah, it's TFT South Asia. So Gaurav found about this group, and he was like, there's a group, we might as well go and see what they do. And they had a Discord channel, and I'm not entirely sure exactly when we joined this, but it's been a couple of months or so. And that's how we've been very much acquainted with League of Legends, the TFT, and how we kind of grew into like better players, because we, about a couple of months ago is when we actually got more acquainted with the community, was because they had an internal tournament.
Okay.
And since Gaurav and I were like the new guys, the newbies, were like, who are these guys? And we were plat players, so we were like pretty okay at the game. So there was a competition for Beat the Streamer.
Okay.
So there were these two Indian streamers who were very good at TFT, and there was a tournament as to who could beat them. In my lobby, I ended up actually beating the streamer, and I also won some eggs in that
Wow.
tournament.
Congratulations, dude.
Thank you. But sadly for him, he got placed into a very difficult lobby where one of the streamer was actually a very good player. He's one of
Okay.
actually the highest, second highest ranked TFT player in India or in
Oh,
the
wow.
Indian community that was in there. His name is Dandis. I think he's playing tomorrow as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so he managed to get into the top four, and because he was or he got into the top four, and that too made them like how you say earned their money. That's when he kind of got recognition over there, and they kind of like hit it off in the sense that they got pretty much familiar with the community. And God was like, "Hey, there's a TFT Facebook group. Might as well join them."
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of got into the group, and that's where I met Bishi. I met Dandis, Sorora, and all these other guys who have been like very much into the TFT scenario. And then only a couple, I think a month ago or something, we had again another internal tournament. We grinded it out, and unluckily for both of us, and you know how tournaments are, it's sometimes you do well on average because it was like the same format that the Paytm team group is following in the knockout stages. Like right now, it's just the last 64, right? But then
Right.
they have the point system, right?
Yeah.
So we also had the same thing with the point system, and both of us, Gaurav and I, narrowly missed out by like 2 points.
Okay.
I was kind of sad in that sense because we actually played a lot of TFT at that point, and we were like really gutted that we couldn't basically get to the final eight and win that tournament. That's when this particular the PTM tournament came about, and we were like, we really need to give this a shot, and like that's how we did it. And here we are, basically.
Is Gaurav playing the tournament?
Yes, he's playing tomorrow at
Okay.
6 o'clock. Shout out to my boy Gaurav.
Wish him all the very best as well on his
Yes.
lobby. And
Yeah.
fingers crossed he joins you in the round of 64 as well.
Yeah. It would really, so we basically told each other like it would really suck because the amount of games we played, it would really suck if we don't get it at least to the top 64. So when like today we were like when I was playing, I was really nervous because I really didn't know who I was up against, even
Got it.
though I'm pretty decent at the game. It could go anyway, right? And if you were to
Yeah.
come third, that would just be like really sad. But
Yeah.
luckily I stuck it out and we got first.
Yeah. So talking about the match, could you walk us through a little bit more about your win today?
That was actually so the thing about TFT or something that I've learned while playing the game, while watching streamers, while reading Mobile Fire and all the guides that have been put out is that this particular set is all about making a very strong comp.
All right.
And for you to do that, you have to be at the highest level. So level 9 is basically the only way that you win, or if you get to at least level 8. Because in the previous set, in patch 3 or set 3, it was more about getting 3-star units. But right now, the meta has changed, wherein there is barely anyone who has a 3-star unit, and you can win almost every game with just 2-star units because it's all about getting a 9 comp team. So I knew for a fact, actually in the beginning, because it was a treasure trove round. In the very first round, I got 2 Vies. And in the third round, I got a 2-star Vice. So I knew for a fact that I'm going cybernetics. And I kind of just stuck with the whole concept. So for cybernetics, you just have to level up, find the right units, make the 6 cybernetic comp, and put the right items on it. And since it was treasure trove, I was able to find a lot of items, and that to the right items for my player, for my champions. But the problem was somewhere in the middle, because I knew for a fact that if I do the basics correctly, so stuff like econing, aggressive, leveling, placing the right comps at the right time, having a good front line, and that too as well as a back line, just doing this, I had a good early game wherein I had like 100 health for the first 2 rounds.
Okay.
And the second that I saw one of the players who was in the lobby, because we had 7 players, and that too, the eighth one was a random person.
Yeah.
So one of the 7 players actually had a really good comp, and he beat my comp,
Oh.
and that too very comprehensively. Like I lost like from 100, I went to like 80 something,
Okay.
and that's when I kind of panicked. I was like, okay, I think I need to step up my game, because I was thinking, considering that the amount of games I played. So actually, I'm in Diamond 3 at the moment.
Okay.
So which is kind of in the, how you say, the top 4,000 or 5,000 in US right now. But I knew for a fact, if I'm at this level, I should be walking through this game without any being contested at all. But when I lost that particular round against one of the players, I think his name was Nether Freak or something, who was going Battlecast,
Okay.
and that too for Battlecast. I was like, that is not even a viable comp in this particular patch. And like the fact that he beat me with the cybernetics, and like I had like a 2-star Vi, 2-star Leona, a 2-star Fiora, and like good, basically a good comp at that point. I really didn't expect to lose at that, and that's when I was like, okay, I need to push a little harder. And so I kind of actually just again used whatever gold I had. I moved to level 8 as soon as possible, and then when I found my 6 cybernetics and itemized them, it was pretty clinical at that point, because they do the damage. And not only did I get to level 9, I managed to 2-star all my units, and get really good items on them. And towards the end, it was just a cakewalk. I ended up only losing like 30 health throughout the entire game. I think I ended up with like 60 something, 69 health at the end of the game. But yeah, it was only easy because of the basics. Because that's the thing. So in set 3, in set 3, there were a lot of mistakes that I was making, or there were things which I wasn't even aware of. I knew how to play the game, but I did not know how to effectively play the game and like grind the rank queue. Because if you were to see like the streamers who are in Challenger, they have some kind of next level like intelligence, in the sense that they know exactly what they're going, what comms to put at the right time, when to econ, when to level up. So whenever I get free time, or whenever I'm not working, is when I'm actually just figuring out the game. I just like, okay, what are the streamers doing? What are the meta comps at the moment? What are the good players doing to get to the final? Because to get to a good rank, all you need to do is get into a top 4. You don't need to win all the games most of the time. So even getting a top 4 would be considered as a good achievement. And for you to do that, you just need to do the basics. And the thing is discipline. A lot of times, even in solo queue, if you don't CS properly, if you don't look at the map, if you don't ward, or if you're not pinging or not communicating with your laner or your teammates, these are just basics of the game that have a huge effect on how the game turns out. And so those kind of smaller things have a big impact on how you even play TFT, whether you're scouting your opponents, whether you're itemizing correctly, whether you're positioning your champions correctly. If you just do these things correctly, it's very hard for someone else to beat you, because as long as you're going the right comp with the right items and positioning them correctly, there is nothing that the opponent can do. And that's pretty much the mantra that like I've been working with to actually grind the ranked queue ladder.
Okay.
And it's served me pretty well so far.
Awesome, man. Any final shoutouts?
Dandis too. I hope you also get to the next round. So Dandis is again one of the streamers that I was telling you about that we had to beat, but he ended up winning that. I think he win that? I'm not entirely sure if he won it, but he's actually a very good player. He's actually 19 years old. I think he's still 19. And I'm actually 27 for your information. So when you see a 19-year-old player playing better than you, it's like, oh, okay, something is really messed up in that way. Like he's working, like doing his exams and still doing well in like
Yeah.
TFT. It's like, yeah, okay, we need to really step up our game. Or at least I have to, because that's the only way I can show my face to them, basically. So hopefully that he gets it tomorrow. He's playing again. I think it's 7:30. So I hope he also gets to the next round.
Awesome, man. It was a pleasure chatting with you, Prof. Congratulations again on your victory today, and all the very best for the round of 64
you.
and the rounds to come in the PFGEsports TFT
Looking
tournament.
forward to it as well. Looking forward.
Awesome, man. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Congratulations to all the players today who qualified to round 2. Matches for day 2 of round 1 will take place 5:30 p.m. onwards on 18th June 2020. You can check your respective match timings at m.paytm.me/TFT. For any queries, reach us on our Discord channel. Good luck, have fun.